Have you ever wondered why some people earn respect so easily? They never get bothered. Their time never gets wasted. So what sets them apart? What do they have that you don't? I'm about to tell you something that will probably make you angry. The truth is, they're not smarter than you, not richer, not luckier. They just hold a secret about human psychology. A secret that's been around for 500 years, since Machiavelli wrote The Prince. You think being liked will protect you. Wrong. It weakens you. Every time you smile and let an insult slide, you train people that they don't have to respect you. Every time you swallow disrespect to keep the peace, you make yourself cheap. When approval is your top priority, you become predictable. Predictable means exploitable. Exploitable means you'll be treated with contempt. Look back. Who are the people you truly respect in your life? Are they the ones who try to please everyone, or the ones who never needed approval to exist? Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." That isn't brutality, it's a law of power. Respect is born from consequences. People respect you because they know the price of not doing so. This video isn't here to make you comfortable. It will cut deep, cold, precise. It will show you why you're being ignored and how to stop it. In the end, you'll learn to stop being liked and become someone who cannot be walked over. People keep mixing things up. They think being admired is the same as being respected. Wrong. Admiration is temporary light. Respect is lasting gravity. Admiration fades the moment you stumble. Respect remains even when you're silent. Look at reality. You once admired a singer. One scandal hit, and your admiration vanished overnight. But think of the strict teacher who punished you for being late. Years later, you still remember, and you still show up on time. Admiration can fall off. Respect does not. Admiration rests on achievement, glamour, emotion. Respect rests on boundaries, consequences, discipline. Admiration makes people look up at you. Respect forces them to treat you at level. Young people believe if they get better, earn more, look sharper, respect will automatically follow. Truth, you might get admiration, even envy, but without boundaries, they'll still step on you whenever they want. Don't confuse it. You don't need more fans. You need people who think twice before disrespecting you. And that doesn't come from shine. It comes from consequences. This is the key to the next section. Frame control. Who holds the frame? Who runs the game? If you don't hold it, someone else does. Every interaction is a quiet war. No one says it out loud, but a hidden question keeps running. Who has the frame? Who is steering? If you don't notice where the frame sits, it isn't in your hands. And when it isn't in your hands, you're playing by someone else's rules. Example, a coworker asks you to take on a last-minute task. You want to refuse, but you blurt out, "Sure, I'll handle it." The frame shifts instantly. You turned "I get to choose" into "I only get to serve." One yes crowns them controller and casts you as executor. Compare. The approval seeker hands over the remote to their emotions. Someone presses praise, you're happy. Someone presses criticism, you're rattled. They push a button, you dance. Respect is different. Respect keeps the steering wheel in your hands. You decide left or right. Others can sit down or get out. You think you're keeping the peace. In reality, you're letting others write the script, and you're performing it. You think not wanting to upset anyone is wisdom. The more you avoid conflict, the more you lose control. Cold rule. In every conversation, every relationship, ask one question. Who holds the frame? If the answer isn't obvious, it isn't you. And here's the core. When you need approval to feel okay, you've already surrendered the frame. They don't have to take it. You give it away. Next, we go deeper into the mechanism that traps you here. Approval addiction. A sweet dopamine drip that turns you into a predictable puppet.
What's the cheapest thing people get addicted to? Not money, not alcohol, approval. One compliment, one like, one "you're amazing." Your brain dumps dopamine. You feel a rush. You want more. This is how every addiction works. Drugs, games, social media, they're built on variable rewards. One time you get it, the brain records it. Next time you wait, nothing shows. Then you try again. A little hit arrives. The more uncertain, the more addictive. Example. A colleague flatters you. Only you can do this that fast. You know you shouldn't take on extra work, but dopamine beats logic. You nod. They get what they want for the price of one cheap compliment. You pay with hours, energy, and self-respect. Approval addict equals puppet. Others pull strings with flattery. Hardened mind equals scissors. You cut the strings. No one gets to press your buttons. You tell yourself, I just want them happy. Truth, you need that dopamine hit to feel worthy. Here's the trap. Compliments are cheap to give, but expensive to accept. They spend a breath. You spend your position. To escape, learn to stand firm with no praise at all. Your real value doesn't come from someone else's mouth. It comes from the boundaries you hold and the consequences you enforce. Cut off the cheap dopamine, and you become unmanipulable. They press buttons, you don't move. They praise, you don't change course. They sneer, you keep tempo. That's when you enter the most dangerous zone of all, the person who doesn't need approval. In the next section, you'll get the weapon to hold that zone. The disrespect protocol. 5 cold steps that force anyone who crosses your line to recalibrate. Respect doesn't come from speeches. It comes from consequences. To make people adjust, you don't need theater. You need a protocol. Cold, fast, silent. Step 1. Immediate silence. When attacked, most people defend. Wrong. Go silent instantly. Cold eyes. No tremor. Silence isn't weakness. It's the space where they hear their own tone echo. Step 2. Mirror question. One line is enough. Is that really what you mean? No arguing, no essay. This puts the weight back on them. If it was a slip, they retreat. If it was deliberate, they expose themselves. Step 3. Temporarily revoke access. No quick call back, no instant reply. No same level of presence. You don't announce it. Distance is the announcement. They realize the door just narrowed. Step 4. Proportional consequences. One late arrival loses the next meeting. One credit theft loses the next project. One lie loses transactional trust. Not excessive, not soft. Just enough to mark the nerve. Step 5. Decide who keeps access. Some people learn, some don't. Those who learn get a fresh chance. Those who don't, remove. No nostalgia. Real-world snapshots. Office. A colleague blocks you with a snide remark. You hold eye contact and drop 4 words. Is that your intent? Laughter dies. Friends. Someone always cancels last minute. You stop initiating. Next time they ask, you say, "My calendar's full." Relationship. A partner tests you with a light insult. You don't debate. You disappear for an evening. Messages sit unanswered. They understand. The boundary is real. The trap of overwarning. You say, "Don't do that again," and then forgive anyway. Every warning without consequence discounts your word. Don't threaten. Don't repeat. Act. Respect doesn't come from slogans. It grows from a cold rule. Once is enough. People remember not your speeches, but the price they paid for crossing you. In the next section, we'll cover a quieter, deadlier weapon: scarcity and selective presence. When your presence becomes rare, people are forced to reprice you.
In economics, the rule is simple. The rarer, the pricier. In relationships, same rule. The easier you are to get, the easier you are to dismiss. The always available person becomes background. The selectively present person makes the whole room change rhythm. Scarcity equals value. Diamonds are scarce, they're expensive. Ubiquity equals disregard. Road pebbles are everywhere, they get kicked around. Do you want to be the diamond or the pebble? Examples. The always free friend. Call anytime, they're there. Nice at first. Months later, no one values it because it's always there. The selective friend shows up at the right time for key moments. Every appearance matters. Everyone listens, pays attention, shows regard, because presence is never wasteful. People confuse showing up with having value. They think loyalty equals always ready, always yes. But the more you show up, the more you become an assumption. Assumptions aren't appreciated. Respect doesn't come from constant presence. It comes from well-timed absence. When you step back, people feel your weight. When you're not predictable, people start working to keep you. The key is selectivity. Not ice-cold detachment. Discernment. Who deserves access and who doesn't? Those who value you keep access. Those who don't lose it. Scarcity breeds 2 things: curiosity and respect. People are curious about what they don't have on demand. Curiosity turns into gravity. Gravity turns into respect. In the next part, we'll pivot to something that seems distant but is essential: inner stillness. You can erect outer boundaries, but if your inner world is chaos, people will sense it. This is where Ho'oponopono certification enters, a foundation for inner steadiness that supports your outer cold power.
There are moments when you don't need another strategy. You need stillness, an inner space where you drop the heavy emotions and regain clarity. Ho'oponopono is an ancient Hawaiian method refined into a modern program with international certification. This training gives you practical principles to heal, reconcile, and restore balance in relationships. You can use it for yourself, or bring it into coaching, wellness, or any field that requires steadiness. It's not just a certificate. It's a foundation for long-term change. Not every situation is balanced. Sometimes the one crossing your line is your boss. Sometimes it's a major client. You can't use the same hammer you'd use on a friend. This is where mistakes multiply. One extreme, total submission. You nod, endure, lose self-respect. The other extreme, explosive pushback. You overreact, burn the bridge instantly. Both wrong. Asymmetrical power requires another play. Silent consequences. No yelling, no direct clash. A quiet shift that makes them realize they can't treat you lightly, yet gives them no reason to fight back. Example 1. Your boss keeps dumping tasks after hours. Most people either take it or argue. The cold move? Log every task. Send a summary email with priorities. No whining, just fact. To finish A, B will be delayed. Message received. More means less. Want extra? Trade something. You're not fighting, you're reflecting reality. Example 2. A client demands unreasonable changes. Most either argue or cave. The cold move? Strategic delay. Reply. We'll review and get back to you on schedule. You exit the reactive frame. Pull them into your timeline. No false promises, no reckless yes, but the entire board has shifted. With asymmetrical power, you don't win by frontal force. You win by shifting weight. Logging turns emotions into data. Priorities turn pressure into choices. Delays turn demands into shared responsibility. The mistake is believing only two options exist: endure or explode. There's always a third. Keep the frame in silence. Next comes a subtler step: repair protocol. Because after consequences, relationships may crack. The question is, how do you mend without losing power? Punishment is half the game. The other half is repair. But repair does not mean returning to old terms. The weak think forgiveness equals erasing offense. The strong know forgiveness equals restoring order. Wrong forgiveness breaks boundaries. Right forgiveness reinforces them. Example: an employee shows up late 3 times. You cut them from a key project. When they ask to return, you don't say, "It's fine, forget it." You say, "From now on, punctuality is the standard. Keep it, you stay. Break it, you leave." No anger, no begging, just law. Friendship works the same way. A friend cancels last minute. You cut access. Next time they ask to meet, you don't laugh it off. "No problem, let's forget it." You say, "If you value this, keep the schedule. I don't repeat the past." Short, cold, clear. Mistake? Softening after an apology. Believing emotion equals change. Result? Boundary collapse. They learn sweet words erase all consequences. Forgiveness must be conditional. No warmth, no long explanations. You're not vengeful, but you don't forget. Message clear. Respect is still open, but only for those who uphold the standard. Mercy without warmth is not cruelty. It's cold justice. You allow people the chance to redeem, but never for free. The chance exists only inside a tighter, colder framework.
The final stage, endgame, the unreadable presence. Being loved? Fragile. Emotions shift, one mistake shatters the image. Being feared? Fragile too. Fear breeds hate, and hate waits for its opening. Being respected, durable. Respect rests on consequences, and consequences don't expire. Think of the figure who silences a room by entering. They don't talk much. They don't fake smiles. They don't try to impress. They simply appear, and presence alone forces everyone to recalibrate. The loved depend on others' eyes. The feared obsess over control. The respected need neither. Their unreadability makes them dangerous. The mistake, trying to prove yourself, listing achievements, explaining endlessly, pushing for recognition. The harder you try, the cheaper you look. Real power doesn't require a pitch, it requires presence. Silence is colder than any speech. Say little, act fast, appear selectively. When you hold silence, others fill the void with respect. When you strike decisively, there's no time for doubt. When you appear rarely, each appearance becomes an event. Unreadable presence is the final tier. No one knows what you think. No one predicts your move. That uncertainty becomes caution. From caution comes respect. Machiavelli understood power doesn't live in promises or smiles. It lives in silence, selectivity, and the ability to make the world shift its rhythm to yours. To be loved is fleeting. To be feared is temporary. To be respected is permanent. And to reach this final tier, you don't need to prove. You need to become unreadable. Machiavelli never taught us how to be loved. He taught us how to stand when love evaporates. Power isn't in smiles, but in silences that demand caution. Not in promises, but in consequences that cannot be escaped. Those who learn this never explain, they just exist, and that existence alone is enough to write the rules of the game.